A morning coffee seems like a small thing, but for Derek, it became the turning point between a life of debt and a life of freedom. He proved that saving small amounts daily can change everything. Derek was 34 years old. He looked at his bank account and saw $41. That was it. He was not missing a few zeros. He actually had $41 to his name. One morning, he stood in a coffee shop. He looked at the menu. A latte cost $4. He used to buy one every day without thinking. He looked at his phone and then at the menu. He walked out without buying anything. He did not know it yet, but this was his first win in years. Life hit him hard a few hours later. He went to the warehouse where he worked. His boss pulled him aside. He told Derek he was fired. This was the third time in 2 years that he lost a job. Derek did not fight. He did not cry. He just took his jacket and left. Derek did not grow up in a poor home, but his parents never talked about money. They worked hard and paid bills. They never told him how a savings account works. When Derek became an adult, he followed the crowd. He earned money and spent it. He did not buy luxury cars or fancy clothes. He just paid rent, bought groceries, and had a beer with friends. By the end of the month, his balance was always zero. Being broke is not always one big crash. It is a slow leak. Derek stopped going to the dentist. He stopped changing the oil in his car. He kept telling himself he would do it next month. Eventually, those lies stopped meaning anything. He drove to a local park and sat on a bench. That is where he met Marcus. Marcus was in his 70s. He had a gray beard and wore an old jacket. He looked like a man who stopped pretending life was easy. Marcus looked at Derek and said he looked like he was carrying a bag of rocks. Derek admitted he had just lost his job. Marcus told him he had been there too. He had been fired 3 times in his own life. They talked about real money, not the stock market or politics, but the cash people actually use. Marcus gave him a simple rule. Every time you get a paycheck, take 1% of it. Put that money where you cannot see it. Do not think about it. Do not ask if it is worth it. Just move it. Derek thought 1% was too small. Marcus told him it was just a door. Once you walk through it, you will want to go further. Derek told him he had no paycheck. Marcus told him to go get one. He said it did not matter if he washed dishes or stocked shelves. Just get a check. For 3 weeks, Derek applied everywhere. He sent resumes to warehouses and restaurants. Most places ignored him. He sat at his kitchen table with late notices from his landlord. He felt like giving up, but Marcus's words stayed with him. Finally, a grocery store hired him. He got the night shift stocking shelves for $11 an hour. The work was hard. His back ached and his feet swelled. He hauled heavy crates of soup until 2 a.m. But when he clocked out, he felt relief. He was moving forward again. Real life is not a movie. Derek did not get rich fast. His first check was $327. All of it was gone instantly. He paid overdue rent and a final notice for electricity. He bought gas and basic food. He had $11 left. He spent $8 on rice and chicken. He saved nothing that first month. He had to survive first. The second month was better. His bills were paid. He still had very little, but he was not drowning. When his next $327 check arrived, he did the math. 1% of $327 is $3.27. He opened a separate savings account and moved the money. It felt silly. He almost laughed at how small the amount was. But he did it again next week. Then he did it the week after. Soon, Derek started noticing where his money leaked. He saw the $1.50 snacks from the vending machine. He saw the $3 energy drinks he bought 4 times a week. He found a streaming app that cost $9.99 a month that he never used. He did not stop spending entirely. He did not live on water. He just started seeing the waste. By the 3rd month, he increased his savings to $3 a day. That added up to $90 a month. Was it still 1%? No, it was not even close. Derek was actually saving 7 or 8% of his income. That was the secret Marcus never explained. The 1% rule was never meant to be a limit. It was an entry fee. It was a number low enough that anyone could say yes without feeling fear. Once Derek started, he did not want to stop. But it was not always easy. His friend Craig found out about the savings project. At a neighborhood barbecue, Craig mocked him in front of everyone. He told Derek that stocking shelves at night and saving $3 a day was not investing. He called it a piggy bank. The crowd laughed. Derek wanted to quit right then. He felt a sharp loneliness. It is hard when people around you do not understand your goals. He started to doubt himself. A voice in his head asked what the point was. He felt he would never catch up to the rich people who were born with money. Some people are born rich, but not all of them. Derek went home and almost emptied his account. His finger hovered over the button to take the money out. Then he remembered Marcus. Marcus wore a worn-out jacket and sat on a park bench. Despite his clothes, he knew more about money than any expert Derek had ever met. Derek left the money alone. The next morning, he saved another $3. After 13 months, Derek hit $1,000. That amount of money does not change a life, but it changed Derek. It proved a man with $41 and no school on finance could build something. He was a night shift worker who built a foundation from zero. That proof acted like fuel for his ambition. His manager noticed his change in attitude. Derek arrived early. He did not complain. He cared about the work. The company moved him to the day shift and gave him a $2 hourly raise. It was a small bump, but it meant more money for his system. He started reading the basics. He did not look for get-rich-quick tips. He learned about index funds, which are baskets of many stocks. He learned about compound interest, where your earnings earn their own earnings. He wanted to know how regular people grow wealth without working on Wall Street. The answers were boring. He liked that. He opened a basic brokerage account. He put $100 a month into a broad market index fund. He set it and forgot it. In the first year, he had $1,200. By year 2, he had $2,600 because the market grew. After 5 years, he had over $8,000. Derek's life changed. He became a shift supervisor. Later, he moved to a logistics firm for better pay. He saved more as he earned more. He went from $250 a month to $400 a month. By year 15, he had over $130,000. By year 20, he passed $235,000. This was not a lottery win. It was patience and a refusal to go back to having only $41. Derek is 57 now. He does not own a yacht. He does not post about money on the internet. He owns his home and paid it off 3 years early. He has a portfolio that lets him sleep. When his car broke down last winter, he did not panic. He paid the bill and moved on with his day. That confidence cannot be bought overnight. He still thinks about Marcus. He went back to the park bench a few years later, but Marcus was gone. The bench was empty. He never saw him again. But the lesson stayed. Start with 1%. Then add a little more. He did this because it was real, not because it was exciting. Derek's story is about trust. It is about trusting a process when you cannot see the results yet. It is about trusting yourself when others laugh. The 1% rule makes the start easy so you do not talk yourself out of it. Once you move, momentum takes over. This works for anyone, whether you make minimum wage or 6 figures. It is about how often you save, not how much. If the gap between your life and your goals feels too wide, start today. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need 10 books. You do not need to wait for things to settle down. Life never settles down. Just start with what you have. Even if it is only $3, time will handle the rest.